Hey Axis and Allies players, the good captain here. Welcome to a review of Ottoman Turn 7 in this game of Axis and Allies 1914, played against a very clever human opponent. This is of all the videos on this particular channel so far, I am most happy to make this one. This is a very, very slick move that you're about to see, and this is why it's good to play different people. This is why it's good to play online. Uh, you don't always want to play in your own play group. And what happens when you play multiple different people, multiple games, which really, insofar as I know, with Axis and Allies can only be done via AAA, is you see different ideas. You see different strategies and actions and implementations of the rules. So I could keep talking in highfalutin words, but I'm just going to demonstrate this because it's not immediately obvious how this is freaking awesome. This is just really cool. I did not see this, and I don't think there was anything to do to avoid this. And it's nothing catastrophic, but it's something that you probably could get past a less experienced opponent. And here it is. It's the move into Transjordan. Ragnall sends 4 infantry and 1 artillery from the Ottomans into Transjordan, and this is the move. And notice he doesn't move Smyrna. It's a multifaceted, like 3D chess level move. Like hats off to you, buddy. This is awesome, and I'm gonna break this down and explain why it's awesome. So first, and most boringly, he clears the Ottomans or the French out of Ankara. That's fine, completely legit. Okay, I'm stoked, man. This is awesome. Okay, so peace swaps in Transjordan, which I'm very glad for in this case. This is so cool. This is so cool, man. Okay, I I couldn't. I was gonna pull the trigger on this video, and I just kept staring at this and thinking to myself, something is freaking wrong right here. And it takes about 4 elements of this game into all in one and mixes it into a bowl, and then you have the you have a I wouldn't say it's a catastrophic situation, but it is a seriously bizarre and potentially game-changing situation. And here it is. Okay, I'm sorry for beating around the bush, but this is really going to be difficult to explain. It has to do with the fact that when units of 1 power are in 2 contested zones, they can shift between zones. That's the bottom line up front. And the shift would occur between Smyrna and Transjordan. That's where the shift would occur. Now, on its face, this looks like a subpar move. Syrian desert with its massive army is going to hit Smyrna with something like a negative 20 plus of swing in favor of the Entente. Like, this is not good. It looks like a poor play for the Ottomans. But here's where the Transjordan comes in. If Transjordan, it remains Ottoman, or even contested with Ottoman troops in it, Smyrna, which will not be annihilated in a single round of combat, will be able to shift all, some, or none of its units into Transjordan and eliminate whatever paltry British or Entente presence is left there if it's still contested. Once that happens, oh, and you can also leave a blocker or multiple blockers if you're afraid the Italians or the French are going to free up the British army. But the idea is to freeze the British army in place in Smyrna via a contested zone, move contested Ottoman troops into the Transjordan, where it's either safe or contested, and free it. So now this is an Ottoman controlled territory, and the British are frozen. The main British army is frozen in Smyrna for a turn. This would allow the British to clear Smyrna, and then you would watch the now Ottoman army in Transjordan waltz into Egypt. Yes, you would surrender Constantinople to do this, but this is a breadbasket, and for as much criticism as this gets, or I've seen get in other videos on 1914 about why is Africa in there, blah, 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 blah. This keeps, uh, I've hypothesized something like this, but not seen anything practical come out of it until Ragnell, because I know this guy, or his play style, I should say, well enough to know he is somebody who will ram into Africa. I've never seen such passion by an Ottoman player to do so, so I have to take this threat extra serious. Um, okay, so I hope that made sense. Um, and yeah, I'm not sure what the implications are of doing this, because it would almost certainly mean the end of Constantinople like 2 or 3 turns before it otherwise would be nuked off the board. Um, and that's, and then we're totally in unknown territory. But my hypothesis is once an Ottoman expeditionary force in certain numbers, which appears possible in this case, gets into Africa, there's no industry in Africa, so you'd have to run transports to and fro all over the place to chase them down or to contain their expansion. And yeah, it would be dead income. The Ottomans would be nuked off the board at a certain point, yes. But do you really want to risk that? I mean, I don't know what the implications are. I know Ragnell's somebody who'll put his money where his mouth is when it comes to this Africa business. And honestly, my feeling right now as the Entente players, I'm not willing to mess around with it. I don't want that to happen. That's an experiment we can run on some other day with somebody else or whatever. I don't want to mess with it. So I have to play. I have to make attacks uphill. I have to attack in subpar, non-ideal circumstances. We're going to leverage some of the advantages of the Entente and of what I believe advantages I've created on this board to try to mitigate this. But again, this is why I want to play multiple people. I think I'm up to 9 different opponents on 1914. I'd love to double that, but this is why you get people who think differently, who move and act differently. And Ragnell, my friend, you did not disappoint. This is sweet. Okay. It also helps me to kind of talk it out, because it took me a minute just staring at this to realize what can happen. So for better or worse, we are going to attack with the Italians. We're going to send. We've got an excess of bodies, so we're going to send a few in. In fact, I'm just not going to hold back. I feel ahead of the curve on the west front. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, I want to see if I can diminish that position or eliminate it prior to the British turn, so that the Brits can just mop it up at something like 99%. I wouldn't take less than 99% when it comes to the British turn. I still want the Brits to kick off this main attack. I want to turn this against the Ottomans, or this position against the Ottomans insofar as I'm able. So this means, for the moment, sending pieces to their end, which is not my, I don't, that's not my mode. Even though it's just a game, I don't like that. But, that's potentially game-changing results. Unless I'm missing something, which I totally could be missing something. But this is, those are complex rules. This whole transfer of pieces between, contested zones, and making sure you have to have a piece of the power in there. He can slip his whole army through, and then you bring in new units from Constantinople, right? I mean, it's just this bizarre series of dominoes, and I just don't want to leave that option on the table. Okay, sorry for talking way too much about that. It's been a few games since I've seen anybody do anything new, and that is new, and I freaking love it. So here we go. We're going to be offshored, and then we're going to shell, and then we're going to attack, and we're looking for 1 piece, and if we're very lucky, maybe 2 pieces. If we are unlucky, we could get 0 pieces. That could happen, but I do feel like we are up. So we're going to use some of that position. We're going to degrade some of that to try to fix this situation. Oh yeah. Coastal barrage. This is first one we ignore, it's this one. Okay, so both of our fellows are moving in. Shelling. Okay, the battleship hits. And, wow, we got 2. And yeah, they're dead. Okay, jeez. So the French will probably mop up those 2. Of course, I'll have to pull 2 off of Venice or Piedmont. Doesn't really matter. And then their 2 battleships and their 2 infantry should dispose of them. If not, the British will now walk through them. But again, I just want to highlight, underline, put in bold, and italicize this. That is something that a newer player almost guaranteed will miss, especially if they're used to Axis and Allies, because this is just a bizarre deviation from the core games, the contested zone and how to manipulate it. So yeah, let's continue with the rest of the game. I'm sure it's obvious how excited I am to see something new. That's just great. Cannot contain it. Okay, just a moment. Okay, the USA, this is a little bit more dull, but a good USA is a dull USA. So let's... One, 2, 7, 8. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you want to be a lethal USA player is an efficient USA player. So I want 4, and I could put these into Marseille and still be in Canada the following turn, but it's time to just set this right and do a 4-4 shuck proper. So yes, we have 1 latent Canadian, but now we've got the 4-4 shuck. Okay, next, you will move here, so we have 2 in Alsace, and the Americans will dedicate themselves to the Italian front for the time being, I think. Yep, so we done out, drop 6, done, 7 and 7 for the next 2 turns, so yeah, okay. That's just a sweet move. Okay, thanks for watching this. All the best from the good captain, and bye-bye.